Welcome everybody to the Broken Falken series. This is season 2, round 1 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, doing the Roval. Got quite a gaggle of cars, 37 to be exact. 37 cars on this grid, 26 of which are the GT4 class, and 11 of which are in the MP3s. It's quite surprising seeing this many GT4s overall. I mean, you think there'd be a little bit more incentive for some people to drive the slightly faster LMP3, but you know, the dentistry class is back at it as hit the wall slightly on the exit of 12. But there's not a whole lot to say. It's round 1. A lot of these guys are new. Most of them are returning. I'd say the GT4 class has a lot of new endeavors for sure. We have a couple new people as well in the LMP3 class. Right now, I'll say, as it stands for the LMP3s, we got 114s. You got to beat the dentist himself, Peter Flanner. He is #1 in practice. Now, everyone else is in the 115s, 116s, 118s, one person in 117. Let's look at this driver. Gennady Stadnik. Yeah, I think I said that right. Welcome to the league, and oh my god, is that what I think it is? You need to get a closer view. Is that an anime waifu livery? I think it is, folks. You got another one. It's close. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like a punk rock thing. Or like one of those, like... I think it still is. Hard to say. Well, you know, welcome to the league. Another driver, Adam McNeil, is also joining us for the first time. Bernardo Drogmoller is in P10. Then we got Varun Nambier. I think Varun's raced before. I might be wrong about that one. Evan Ferguson, welcome. Cody Baldwin also here. And look at that. Justin Scott actually shows up for a race. I think he has only yapped in, just mostly yapping in the chat. He's actually out here racing. That's crazy to see. This is a first in what probably is a couple seasons. Cody Baldwin, welcome to the league. Angel Bonella Soto. I don't think I said that right, but I said the first and last. But anyway, welcome to the league. Patrick Amiot, probably is French. Welcome to the league. Kyle Curtis, also new. Connor Smith might be new. Sounds new. That's a really, like, easy name. Oh, just went faster on that one. Improved to P16. Brandon Langlands, I'm pretty sure he's been here before. I think I've said to say his name. Nathan Schmidt, welcome to the league. Adrian Fedorowski's usually in a... he's not in this league. He's usually in the WEC one, the Le Mans. Jake A. Crawford and Brandon Berg, welcome, welcome. Going over, Chris Chitterling is leading in the 124s, just barely, with a 2/10 differential to Joshua Grosso, who's in the 125s. Now it goes from the 125s to the 126s, 127s, 128s, 129s. We're going to have a lot of different groups. But there's pairings. There's a bunch of people that are having the same similar lap times in the GT4 class as well as in the the LMP3 class. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be, you know, interesting to say the least with how the GT4 class is going to be split. I guess we won't get to see a better view of that the anime waifu livery. Quite possibly not, though. It looked like it could be one of those, what do they call it? Like pop art? I think that's what it's called. Ooh. And with that said, we're going to into qualifying and quick word from our sponsor. And we are back. Thank you, SimMotion, for that lovely, lovely promo. And we're here with Alex Zier, the first driver of the GT4 class in that Mustang. Probably get a better view at some point. He's on the back stretch here of 8 and 9. Got a little bit further to go. 70 corners to the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. And I swear, these bits here, no bueno. Yep, ate a lot of the curb. That is massive, to say the least. And we'll go right on board with the Mustang. Get a really good look there at his Moose. A couple corners to go. This driver will be the first to take a hot lap in. Now, if I'm not mistaken, don't they do the dirt road layout that's somewhat similar to turns 2, 3, 4? Could be wrong about that. But it seems eerily familiar when you're going through 2 and 3 and to 4, but then it would be a straightaway cutting to a left-hander. Instead, they just continue straight. Could be wrong. It's been a while since I've been dirt road. Oh! Bit unsettling there. But he is through. And that's a 126. Won't be the best time on the board after a little bit, but he can relish in it for now. That is the first lap for him. Brandon Renfro in the 127s, Forrest Holland in the 128s, Joshua Grosso in the 125s, Justin Scott and Peace 8 in the 130s. Chris Chitterling into second. We knew that was going to happen. He's been quick. Angel Bonella Soto into fourth. And now down into fifth as Austin McGill has just pulled out a lap of his own in the 125s. You see a lot of the 125 contenders here. Connor Smith in P8 now. Ooh, a little bit of a spin there for him. He can recover this. Maybe not. Oh, 3-point turn. Oh, that's not ideal. Oh, it was really not ideal. And there goes two. That's why you should just try again. Gary Shack the third in it in P10 at the moment. Look at that beautiful, beautiful car. The Mustang in Freedom colors. Red, white, and blue, but he spun, unfortunately. Trying to get out of the way. And look at another favorite. One of mine. Tyler Bramble. His waifu is on board with him and still sporting the same livery. Couldn't give us a new waifu. He's dedicated this one, and there he is in P11 with that lovely, lovely lady. Spin for freedom. And we got 16 drivers that have now hit the board. It's gonna be a lot. There's 26 or 27, 26 maybe, GT4s in class. 11 LMP3s. Guess we know who's what. Patrick Amiot. I'm gonna think it's French. God, this guy's got some. Whoa. Unfortunate. I mean, he's already gotten some damage on that left side and just incurred some more. But he's still going, and that's a sign of a driver that might qualify. Mark Foley goes into P10 with that time on the board, 126.8. You got to get to the low 125s right now. Tyler Bramble just improved. His waifu was working for him. 127, now into P12. Perfect. He executed for him. Tyler Anderson has not set a time on the board. Neither has Brandon Berg. Patrick Amiot also on that. But 3 drivers still yet to set times, as Alex Zier has now improved into 3rd over Chris Chitterling. Varun X Nambier into 5th. Oof. Bit of a spin here for Brandon Berg. That's going to be no bueno for his chances on getting a qualifying lap in. What can Tyler Anderson do? It's Chris Chitterling now sets the fastest time with a 124.9. He was that same level of quickness in practice, so it's no surprise there. No one else got into 124, so he may be able to hold on to P1 with that time. But Austin McGill is only 10th and a half separation there. As Alec Plessig goes into P12, overtaking Tyler Bramble. Tom Smith overtakes Justin Scott for P6. Cody Baldwin goes into 9th with the time on the board. Lots of stains out there. Yeah, there is. Mark Foley just improved into P5. Tyler Anderson across the line. Where is this for him? I think it's a 127 on the board, but it puts him into 14th, 127.1. Brandon Berg's our only driver who's going to have to go a full lap, this lap, to improve. We'll see what he can do. Austin McGill. Can he put something out here against Chris Chitterling? Joshua Grasso. He's also in contention. They are very, very close. Look at that. Talk about sportsmanship, or gamesmanship more than anything. Chris Chitterling did not want to give a toe to Austin McGill, so he pulled to the side. I hope you guys saw that. And was like, yeah, go for it, buddy. Take your lap, but you're not doing it with my toe. And through goes Austin with that time on the board. No improvement. Actually, I think he had an off track somewhere because it didn't count his last lap. That is definitely something a champion might do. And Chris Chitterling did not give the toe to a rival in P2. Joshua Grasso. Which toe? All the toe. Joshua Grasso's out there. Has no real chance of getting that kind of assist. He's got a 2.5 second gap to Brandon Renfro ahead of him. 4 seconds back on Forrest Holland. He's just got to do this all on sheer pace, determination. He's still in 3rd. Tyler Anderson has now improved into P12 with his time on the board. Brandon Berg in the pits. Unfortunately for him, Connor Smith crossed the line going into the 15th. Improved his last time. Joshua Grasso. He's about there. No improvement on that lap. He's got one more to go, and this is going to be the one that he really needs here. Unfortunate for him, last lap was invalidated. I don't know if Chris Chitterling is just kind of on a cruise right now, because he has, or maybe he was just doing a cool down lap to really put in a solid hot lap here. He's got one more attempt. He is faster. Actually, no, I should apologize right now. He didn't improve his last lap. He did a 124.9, but before that he did a 136 when he slowed down for Austin McGill there. So he did try to do one lap improvement. So this will be his second one. After already claiming the fastest lap, we'll see what he can do. Patrick Amiot went into his 20th. He did qualify. We're waiting for that one. Kyle Curtis in 21st. Jake Crawford 22nd. Brandon Langland's 23rd. Nathan Schmidt is still out there trying to make a lap count. And we are past the 10-minute mark here. Oh, look it. He's got the Chips Ahoy. And we should see the shakeup and the LMP3s as they make their way out onto track, and he is going to pull it back. Austin McGill is just ahead. I guess he could really cut that paint, and he improves, and he takes P1, and there's Chitterling spinning. Joshua Grasso's already in. Who else is out there? I am not going to be able to tell. Oh, man. Adrian Fedorowski. A slight improvement to P17. Cody Baldwin, no improvement from P7. Mark Foley across the line, no improvement from... Actually, improvement to P6. And then you have Tyler Anderson. I think he's the last driver in the GT4 class. What a move for Austin McGill. He put it over the line on the last lap and improved into P1 over Chris Chitterling. Tyler Anderson parks it, and now we'll get a C. Is Peter Flanner the fastest out there? It will be Zach Ebe. This could be true with these multi-class events. Sometimes the out doesn't really mean they're out. This could be the first actual lap for them. Who's to say? I mean, right now the relative says that he's on a hot lap, so we'll trust it. Wow, you could really just cut that part right there out of 12. Zach, who won the championship. Oof. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's going to be right into the barrier. Just behind him. Well, I can't even do that. That pit lane sure does break some stuff. Jacob Simmons into first with that lap. Now Andrew Korsecki into second. Peter Flanner into third. Nick Mazza into fourth. I think Peter Flanner might have been the runner-up. It was him or Mark Foley, one of the two, in the championship. Craig Carroll, no time on the board for him at the moment. Zach as well. Bernardo Brogmoller, a bit of a spin. Craig Reese is out there. No time on the board for him. Gennady Stadnik. Crossed the line with a 1:17.3. That should count, and it does. He goes into fifth. And then we have a few left that haven't made laps. It's Adam McNeil, who's still out there. Maxwell Woodmansey into sixth. Kickstart your day. Now, if this is true... Oh, Zach just put in a 1:16. But Jacob Simmons improved on his last lap. Nick Mazza improving to P2. Peter Flanner into third. Andrew Korsecki drops down into fourth with his time. Oh, in the 1:15s. We should see someone in the 1:14s. As Peter Flanner is given way to Andrew Korsecki. A bit odd. Color me curious about that livery on Gennady Stadnik. Is it an anime waifu? Or is it a pop art cultural thing? You know, they did those pop art things where it's like bright colors. Kind of looks like that one chick, but I can't tell. It's too fast. He's got a cat with ears. I mean, I know cats have ears, but it's like it's like shushing its mouth. That's got to be anime related, right? You like cats? Oh, Jacob Simmons now improves again with the fastest times. This has got to be an anime livery. I'm counting it. We have another waifu on the grid. That's two. Two too many, some might say. But not me. Craig Carroll, still no time on the board for him as he's on an out lap. Must have had another rough one because this will be his second attempt. Now third attempt when he crosses the line. Let's see if he can do it. Bernardo Drogmoller's also in the same boat. Yo, loving the gameplay. I've got some friends with me. Oh, come on. Those nonsensical. Here we go. Did I miss something? Did he spin? Just gonna go back a second. Oh, just a massive lockup. Unfortunate for him. Can't be a mod. And commentate. It's crazy. Zach in the pits. Hopefully he will get back out there, make something happen. Nick Mazza is trying to do something in the infield. I'll take a replay of that. Oh, he just spun and he wants to continue. I see. It happens. Peter Flanner, fastest guy in practice, still only in 4th at the moment. Last lap was 1:18, so no improvement out of him. We still have Craig Carroll trying to set a lap that might be invalid. I don't know. The off-track scenarios here are kind of brutal. He's on his 4th attempt. He had an off-track on lap 3. So, hopefully, this is it. Oof, that will probably be an off-track again. No, it is not. It is not an off-track. So he's good to go. Bernardo Drogmoller. Got just a couple corners to go. Is this going to be a time on the board for him? Cross. Hopefully. Unfortunately, no. The last lap did not count. Craig Carroll. What could he do? Couple corners to contend with. Well, folks, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Fortunate for Craig, I don't think he's going to have enough time to go again. I mean, he might if he left immediately. Let's hope. Let's hope that he has just enough time. Get out there. Set something on the board. And Bernardo Drogmoller hasn't also set one, but he can on this lap, possibly. He had no off tracks. Then onto the next lap, still able to go again. Craig Reese is in the pits. He's in 7th. Adam McNeil is in the pits. He's in 8th. Maxwell Woodmans, he's in 9th. He's still out there. The top 5 are still out there. As you see on the board, they are still trying to improve. And this time, for Bernardo Drogmoller, no time counted on that one. Even though it was a 1:18. That's unfortunate. It does not show that he had an off-track either. So, I'm not sure why that wouldn't have counted. Unfortunate. Alright, Craig Carroll did get across the line with 12 seconds to spare. He's going to get a go. One lap. Oh. Well, folks, it isn't called Broken Wing Racing for nothing. That was our first martyr to the crucible of Broken Wing. And that wing did pop off. Ugh. That is really unfortunate for Craig. probably make up some spots in the race. Andrew Korsecki into fourth for a moment, but then Peter Flanner responded by going into second. Zach Ebe is still out there. Jacob Simmons is also still out there. Who's closer? Oof. That would have been it. Brief look again. What happened here? Ate all of the curb and into the barrier. Zach Ebe goes. Nick Mazza across the line. He goes into second, improves over Peter Flanner. And that is it, folks. That is qualifying. Let's look at the results here. P1, Jacob Simmons, Nick Mazza second, Peter Flanner third, Zach Habad fourth, Andrew Korsecki fifth, Gennady Static in sixth, Craig Reese in seventh, Adam Neal in eighth, Bernardo Drogmuller did make a time on the board, and that's ninth for him. Maxwell Woodmansey in 10. Austin McGill in 11th. Craig Carroll would have been in 11th. Just point that out there. You have to wait until this shakes up, and then it will actually show the real results. Austin McGill's in first, Chris Schitterling in second, Joshua Grosso in third in the GT4 class, Varun X Nambier in fourth, Mark Foley in fifth, Alex Sear in sixth, Cody Baldwin in seven, Brandon Renfro in eight, Tom Smith nine, Justin Scott in 10. You're not reading that wrong. He is here, folks. That's not the wrong one. Grid. My bad. Angel Bonello Soto in 11, Tyler Anderson 12th, Kevin Ferguson 13th, Alec Klessing in 14th, Connor Smith 15, Fort Holland 16, Adrian Fedorowski in 17, Tyler Bramble 18, Gary Sack the third in 19, Patrick Mio in 20, Kyle Curtis 21, Jake A. Crawford 22, Brandon Langlands 23, Nathan Schmidt 24, Chris Lambert 25, Jeremy Wu in 26, and Brandon Berg in 27. 25, 6, and 7 may not even be here, but Craig Carroll is that last driver in the LMP3 class, and I am kind of concerned because he did not set a time on the board at all. We have an LMP3 starting with the GT4 class. Yikes. Check it out. I am back. Jacob Simmons is going to take us to car racing. If you missed it, that is Craig Carroll at the back of the GT4 pack. They have not gone moving just yet. That is going to be a crucible for Craig Carroll at the start of this race. And then you have some drivers are out there. So Brandon Berg, I don't think he set the time on the board. Maybe he did a while ago. Anyway, we're up here at the LMP3 part. It's 10 In a row. What happened to Zach? Zach Ebe in fourth did not go to the grid. So we have a little bit of a kerfluffle at the start of this race already. I mean, we're not at car racing, and Zach Hebe, who's in fourth, now maybe starts from the pits but did not grid in time. And then you have something funny like Craig Carroll, who's getting let by. Okay, I think that might be a standing order there, because that would have been quite the hilarious start to this race if they let Craig start with that class. But all right, he's back. Craig Carroll at the back of the LMP3 pack. I think that's only fitting. Let him start with his group. What's interesting about the start of this is that there's going to be drivers that are going to be sitting into turns 15, 16, and 17 when this race goes green, possibly too wide. I mean, I think it might slightly occur with this class as well. They're only 5 rows deep. 6 technically, but I mean, it's one car. There he goes. He's already off for it. And yes, it is the way. Oh, look at that. And it happened. It happened exactly what I thought. Gennady went sideways through the chicane. And it is already kind of a gamble there. And here we have the GT4s. They didn't start in the chicane. They ended up starting on the start straight here, making it a little bit difficult. Austin McGill holds it out ahead. Oh no! And that is a driver down and spun. Possibly, I can't tell who it was, but everyone else seems to be going through clean. And that is Joshua Grosso, who spun and take an ad break right at the start of this race. What is that? Lap 1. All right. GT4's doing well. Tyler Anderson and Justin Scott make contact, and Tyler Anderson is on the receiving end of that and is now having to park it. He's back out, and he's back in the fight. Adrian Fedorowski getting swallowed up by 2 spots, now only down 1. He's got Jake Crawford on the outside and Kyle Curtis just ahead of him, and he's pushing. He's only still down to 1. Is he going to try to make a move here on Kyle Curtis? And they are too wide. And it looks good for him. Oof, we got a blinker. Patrick Amiot is up 5 positions since the start of this race. Up ahead, Kevin Ferguson thinking about making a move here on Brandon Renfro. Zach Hebet is in the pits and is actually out there, but he's still troubleshooting something. Gary Sack has spun all on his own. He's dropped down. Joshua Grosso now only down 18 positions as he works his way through the pack. Got 3.7 seconds to Nathan Schmidt, so it's going to be a long one for him. It is a long race, though, as Adrian Fedorowski still having to battle here. And how has Haroon Nambier, who's trying to take that inside line, and does so, and gets through. And it looks like Varun was also 11 spots down from restarting. He was a quick driver in qualifying, so it makes sense why he's passing people now. But Kyle Curtis, oof. And him go side by side and end up making contact. And just behind, you have Brandon Langlands And Tyler Anderson all in the mix here. Chris Chitterling is down 2 from the start of this race. Has Alex Zier, who just passed him on the start straight before turn 1. Evan Ferguson had Brandon Renfro in his sights for a while. He's the only one in this group that has gained positions. He's got Brandon Renfro, who started where he qualified, and he's got Cody Baldwin also in the same boat, as well as Justin Scott just behind in 10th. No change in the order, but these drivers are all in a good pack here. Look over to Varun Nambiar, who's still trying to make a move here on Kyle Curtis. And there's Tyler Anderson deep on the brakes. He goes through. It's at turn 7 and gets on by Adrian Fedorowski. Saw that while we're watching this. Good move, Tyler Anderson. Now will we make the move again? They made contact last time, and no, he will not. And it looks like it's going good. Chris Chitterling. Hasn't been able to make the move. It's lost 2 at the start. Mark Foley up 3. Alex Zier up 3. Great for these two. I mean, 2 that they did make was Varun and Joshua Grasso. All right, we've been looking at the LMP, the GT4 class for a long time, mainly because in the LMP3 class, once the race started, in the middle of that chicane, there was nothing else to say. They immediately split up, and the pace difference is pretty strong amongst all of them. Gennady Stadnik is still within half a second of Maxwell Woodmansee, but that's about it. I shouldn't say that's about it, as look at that, he goes to the inside line, diving on turn 7, really deep in the brakes and didn't make it stick, and now Maxwell still holding on to P7 for himself. Great. Chris Chitterling dives into the inside and gets it into turn 1 where Alex Zier got it on him just laps prior. And through goes Chris Chitterling, now only down 1 spot from the restart of this race. Maxwell Woodmansee now still under threat with a 4/10 separation here. And Bernardo Drogmuller is also getting in the thick of this as they pass Gary Sack the third. Now 3 LMP3s are now getting close on pace. Going back over to the leader here, he's got himself kind of a good situation. They're going through traffic at the moment, and it's working out in his favor. Peter Flanner was pretty close, and I'm going to say half a second off of Nick Mazza at one point, but traffic has hindered their performance and ability to get by, as Jacob Simmons has a 1.8 second gap in P1 at the moment. Different stakes here as they split lanes. Oof, Bernardo through the middle. So does Gennady Stadnik, who did get past Maxwell Woodmansee, I guess. We just didn't see it. And look at that. There's another driver. That's Zach Hebe, who's joining them, trying to make up some spots. Yeah, there's going to be a difference. Who's going to pass who first? Is it going to be Tyler Bramble, Connor Smith, or is it going to be Varun X Nambier on both these drivers? I put my money on Varun first, but Tyler did make a critical send into turn 7, just got a little undone by the traffic that was involved. Austin is indeed cooking. 6 seconds still holding up strong. We have a spin from Tom Smith, and everyone gains a spot. We take those. Look at that. Adam McNeil, who pit on lap 6 for unknown reasons, back out there, and he's just ahead of the class leader of the GT4s. Back in the overall 9th position. And then it goes Austin McGill, Cody Baldwin, and Angel Bonilla Soto battling out here. Looks like Cody might have a move into turn 1. He's the McLaren on the outside. But that Mustang is definitely still leading the charge for each one of these corners, it looks like. And they're still going to take this too wide. Wow. Look at the control these two drivers have. They are giving each other space, and unfortunate for Angel there. He went off the track, but it did not deter him. Ooh, that's the he gets on by Cody Baldwin. Well, that's a head of the apex move if I've ever seen one. And Connor Smith now dropped down one on that. No, Connor Smith. No, that was Cody Baldwin. Different guy. Both C names technically, but that's one of those ones where you're just not sure what to think. Tom Smith in the pits. That's unfortunate. He has a meatball as well. Brandon Renfro trying to make a move here on Cody Baldwin. He's got into shot. It's 3/10 separation on turn 14. Angel Vanilla Soto still having to defend a little bit here. He is not out of the woods. Oh! Yikes! Down the order they go. Brune Nambier gets a spot. Cody Baldwin and Angel made contact. Preston Scott and Brandon Renfro battling it out here for P5 as it is. And we got a big group here. Just behind Brandon Renfro is Forrest Holland, Tyler Bramble, Varun X Nambier, Angel Vanilla Soto, and even Cody Baldwin there. Tyler Bramble on the outside and gets overtaken. With that, it's actually going to be a little bit worse. Joshua Grosso's also made a move. Still up 7th position for Tyler Bramble, but down a little bit he goes. Another impressive feat is Joshua Grosso, who spun on the opening corner, and he's up there. That was Varun X Nambier. Both retaking some of their spots. Then you have this group, all still together, also battling out here for spots. Varun's going to make a move here on Angel, and he gets on by, and is Joshua Grosso going to try to get through? No, it looks like Angel has stopped both attacks here and has the move secured for now, as Jacob Simmons, the class leader, has gone on by, and he's going to make another move here. And this is the kind of traffic you don't want to be involved in. These guys are all battling for position, and they are keeping it awfully close. Look how close they're getting. That is Nick Mazza, who is on the back end of this little fight we have going on here. Tyler Anderson just behind Connor Smith. Give him a little, maybe a little bump. Is he close enough? I think he is. I think he is pushing him a little bit. I mean, that would be interesting if that's the case. Oh, Kyle Curtis off into the side there. He is out. Let's go with Board. It does look like he's giving a little bit of a bump. No, I might be wrong there. Oof. Oh. Look at this battle. You got Joshua Grosso trying to make a move here, and he gets on by Forrest Holland. So does Varun Nambier. And we'll bump up one as Forrest Holland now gets seats to a battle, which these two drivers were fighting in, I think, 3rd and 4th, or 4th and 5th, but now they're down in 8th and 9th, often a first lap incident. I think that's maybe when it happened for Varun. But at this point, what we have here is a strong field of GT4s. And the pace is similar throughout the entire grid of 25. I am seeing nothing but red. It's who do you even want to click on, because they're all very close. Alec Plessig has Adrian Fedorowski in his sights, and they're back in 15th and 16th. Then you have Kevin Ferguson just behind with Patrick Amiot, who's in 17th and 18th. These drivers are still fighting even further back in the field. Who's it going to? Is Kevin Ferguson going to make a move here? Won't make it here. But maybe into turn 1. He's gone for the inside move. And Patrick has let him on by. I think it was a space thing. He already had the LMP3 there. But there you have it. Joshua Grosso and Varun Nambier battling out here. This is close. Joshua did get by Varun. And now Angel Soto there is in the mix. Are they both going to try to pass? He slots back in. He's ahead of Varun. And they have Craig Reese. LMP3 going through. And it's a spread. It's a definite spread. Tyler Anderson now down only 1 spot from restart of this race. In comparison, he made contact with Justin Scott. Justin Scott is just battling here with Brandon Renfro in 5th and 6th. And he's holding on to 5th for the moment, but this is the change that I was talking about. Justin Scott up into 5th. Tyler Anderson could have been in that same spot had they not made contact. Who's to say who's at fault? But one did gain a little bit, and there they are. That's Justin Scott, still holding on to 5th over Brandon Renfro. Now, just briefly, we'll go over to the LMP3 class just to show you what it's like. Jacob Simmons put a clinic on for the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval because he's 9 seconds up on his rivals of Nick Mazza. Nick Mazza in 2nd with Peter Flanner half a second off of him. This is one of the only LMP3 battles out there on track at the moment. There's just a big pace difference in these LMP3 drivers, and it's showing in this race as we're on lap 18 of 48. Then you have Craig Reese in 4th. Kind of in no man's land. I don't even know what the interval is. I think he's 31 seconds back. Yes, he is. Gennady Statnik Got a 10-second gap to Maxwell Woodmansee, who's in 6th behind him. And then Maxwell Woodmansee in the LMP3 class out there in 6th position. Andrew Korsecki in 7th. He did pit on lap 12, though, so maybe, I mean, that's definitely going to be the problem there. Adam McNeil is in 8th. Bernardo Drockmuller is in the pits. Zach Hebe did not start this race with everyone else. He's still trying to get back overall positions here. So he's pushing through this class, and as he does so, he will make another go of this and then unlap himself. So it being a long race is good for his scenario here, because he needs to still unlap himself from these drivers. And he's still there. He's getting close. He's on lap 14, so he's actually just one lap down. So once he unlaps himself from the leader, which we're looking at 7 right there, or 8, that's Angel Soto, he's got a couple more to go, and then he'll be able to be on the main lap, and then once he takes these guys again, then he'll get some spots. But for now, he's still trying to work his way through that. Cody Baldwin, Tyler Anderson, Connor Smith, all pretty close together. Tyler Anderson not going to make a move there, but is he going to turn to the inside here? Nope. Whoa! There's a slide. Oh no, Tyler Bramble. Oh no. Who was that? Connor Smith. It's back out there. Tyler Anderson has a black flag. Cody Baldwin is just gotten meatballed from that, and Tyler Bramble might be the only one that didn't have really any affecting scenarios there. Let's take a look again. What actually happened here from the chopper? Just a slide job? It's going in. Brakes a little. Trying to pass Force Holland, and then slides. And he's on the brakes, though. Give him that. But it was just a quick 1-2. And it spun both those drivers. And, yeah. Talk about unfortunate. Because Tyler Anderson got clipped in that. And he's got some damage. But he's also got a black flag. So, it goes... When it rains, it pours. And Varun Nampier's also in the pits at the moment as well. Is this when we see people try to make the switch? I don't think so. If people are... Cody Baldwin has the box for his thing. Unfortunate. Tyler Anderson's just doing a drive-through penalty, which served with his black flag. Alec Klessig makes up some spots there because these drivers are in the pits. Yeah, that is really unfortunate. Brandon Renfro and Joshua Grasso are battling out here in P6 and 7. And you can still tell that there's a little bit of damage on that front end for Joshua Grasso. Maybe he'll fix that in the pits, but I think it's way too early to pit. But who knows? Some people were forced to. That said, let's take a look at some of this funny business. Take a look at Joshua Grasso here. The start of this just spun. Oh, that's why Varun couldn't move. He ended up getting stuck behind Joshua Grasso at the start of the race. The only driver to go right when he zigged and everyone else zagged. Gennady Sadnik spun on the opening lap as well at the moment that that they were trying to go through. Tyler Anderson and Justin Scott coming together in the middle of lap 1. Adam McNeil on his own into the barrier. Patrick O'Meal spun as well into the barrier. Jake A. Crawford here. He was here for a while. Whoa, Varun gave him a send. And that sent him into the shadow realm, technically. Then Brandon Berg having to make an adjustment there. Get by Gary Zach. I think we saw this one, but he spun turn one. Brandon Berg got a little bit too ambitious on the curbing there and made him spin. Craig Carroll, who was out there on track, spun just like in qualifying, and that DNF'd him there. Zach Ebe having some sort of issue that he fixed, I think. Adam McNeil also getting ambitious on the curves there, and another one for him. Jake A. Crawford was losing it before he even got to the apex. That rear just stepped out on him. Kevin Ferguson, further up here, just taps the back end of, I think that was Connor Smith or Cody Baldwin, something like that. No, Craig Carroll stayed out. Craig Carroll went out again. Oh, and lost it there. And maybe that's when he towed it to pits. Alec Klessig lost it pretty hard there. Smith got spun by a LMP3, so that wasn't the first dentistry moment we saw. That was reserved for Bernardo Drogmaller, who tapped an LMP3 and then spun himself through that bus stop section. And then Kyle Curtis, boom, takes all of the curb. Oof. Oh, that's Andrew Korostecki. That's why Andrew went down a bit. That's why he was in the pits on lap 12. He just... Oh, man. Let's take another look at this here. Wait. Let's take a better look at this. Andrew Korostecki sees the impending threat, and then the car goes forward. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was Kyle Curtis there. Unfortunate incident there. Bernardo Drogmaller spins into turn one. Cody Baldwin. And that's when him and, who was that Mustang? Gosh, I've seen that one before. That was Cody Baldwin. I don't know. Kyle Curtis. Oh, that's when he just lost it. Alright. Bernardo, in lap 13. Spun that one all on his own. Bernardo again on lap 14. Another spin. And Alec Klessig losing it through the bus stop section. Nathan Schmidt. Oof. I think he just lost that all on his own. Tyler Bramble. That's when Tyler Bramble made that spin. Bang. There goes Connor Smith. Connor Smith into the wall. That ended him. And we're basically caught up. Oh, that was Angel? Oh. Alright, folks. Let's take a look at the gyro here. Make any attempt to slow down there. It's unfortunate for Angel. I mean, bad run. At 20, Brandon Langlands letting people by. I don't think there's anything an issue there. And we're back to live. Right as we go to that. All right. Let's see. Zach, however, lap 26, is now on the main lap of the GT4s. So every spot he makes is going to help him in the overall. Tyler Bramble, who's in 15th. I think this is it. Nope. Sorry. He's on the same lap as P19 in the GT4 class. As Brandon Langland's at. That's a bit of a... He's starting his lap. And Zach is halfway through his. Yeah, he's got a little bit further to go before he can start pulling some... Although, Jake A. Crawford is just ahead of him, so that's an overall spot. He's looking to get back. And then Kyle Curtis is actually just ahead of him, not by much, so we'll see some movement there. His drivers are now exiting the pits. Yikes. Tyler Anderson has another black flag. Let's take a look at what happened. They make contact? They must have given him a 2x or something on Adrian Fedorowski there. It's interesting. Connor Smith on an outlap. And just spins. Fortunately for himself. Tyler Bramble also gets a black flag. Probably an off-tracks violation. Yeah, probably. A waifu can't save you from the off-tracks. 3 black flags, as Tom Smith also has one, and he's in the pits. He's also been in the pits for 6 minutes and 50 seconds, which is quite something. Varun Nampier, who's in 11th, pit on lap 17. Got Justin Scott in his sights, who just pit. Schurterling's now leading the GT4 class, but we know Austin McGill is in the pits. So I think this is the overall change we're going to see with drivers going in the pits. We haven't seen anyone besides Maxwell Woodmansey and Gennady Stadnik go into the pits. Adam McNeil has a meatball flag, so let's take a look at that. Oh my. I mean, his tire is completely gone. Alright, let's take a better look. What the heck? There. Oh! So Connor Smith spins. That takes... Bernardo gets drilled in the back. Ah, man. And they said in the middle towards this race, things calm down. Nothing is calm. That is an LMP3 that just got deleted from the back there. That's Bernardo here. And which one is that? Gennady? Yeah, that's Gennady Stadnik. Didn't mean to do it for sure. But Adam McNeil lost his tire. He didn't lose it, but it is inked. And he was going to try to drive this, but you can't turn the front that well, at least. I mean, he's still trying. You hate to see it, folks. Neil is going to go down GT4 class in the overall now. Chris Schitterling is still out there. Joshua Grosso is still out. Actually, Joshua Grosso has not pit yet. Chris Schitterling has. And Austin McGill is in the pits again. We have ourselves some drama. What is this? Mark Foley's out there. Where's Mark Foley, though? In comparison, Chris Chitterling, who did a 47-1. Austin McGill is in the pits now. And he's back up. He did tires. Pit on lap 24. That is staggering. I'm surprised Mark Foley wasn't close enough to catch that. Mark Foley's a second back. I am so confused. Tyler Anderson here. And Gary, get into it. Oh my God, when you think it's over, there is still clashes of drivers. Too many. Brandon Berg spins it out. Take a look at this, Trey. That's not it. This guy, this right here. Bang, gets hit from behind. That's not the hard one. It's Adam McNeil, who's trying to save himself. Bam! This is a pileup. And when you think it's all over, well, Adam McNeil pulls over here. But then there's some more action. These two, there's no reason why they just got glued together. And Gary's trying to get by. Tyler Anderson can't do anything. Oh, he reverses a little bit. Brandon Berg spins right in front of the class leader. That's a scary one. Craig Reese. Oof, he's in fourth. And that's Patrick Umyaw. That was live. On lap 31, Craig Reese is now going to drop down into fifth as Andrew Korstecki goes on by. This is by far the biggest of the crucibles I've seen. Just straight carnage. Class carnage. Brandon Langlands and Patrick Amiot going, oh my God, no! The class leader has spun. And Peter Flanner goes on by! And through goes Peter Flanner on lap 32 when Jacob Simmons had a 9-second lead. I think 6 seconds. 6-second lead. And it's all undone. What is happening? Oh my. All right, back over here. We have. Oh no. Oh no. He gets. Oh gosh. That's what happened to him. Nathan Schmidt was in 20th. The room was done. Bernardo Drogmuller has already given a lot. Ugh. And that car is finally dead. He's... Oh, man. From the drama of this, Austin McGill... Okay, maybe I'm just confusing this. Austin McGill had the 9-second gap, and Jacob Simmons had a 6-second gap to P2. I mean, it was such a variance of what it was that even a small incident shouldn't have created this this buffer that we saw. Austin McGill's 9 seconds back on Chris Chitterling, who pit on the same lap as him. Mind you, Austin pit twice. He pit twice. And he's only 9 seconds back on Chris Chitterling. I just don't even know what to say. what happened? Carnage can't even begin to describe this race. It started with a lap 1, turn 1 incident, and then lap 1, turn 7, another incident. Through the bus stop in the LMP3 class, incident. Through the chicane before the start straight, cross the line, another incident. And that was the same case for both classes. I didn't see it at first, but it is just on the review when things kind of slowed down for a couple laps. Literally, no one was passing anybody, and it was troubling to say the least. Something of note, though, is Zach Ebe, who is out there, and because he's still trying, he's gained spots on Craig Carroll, Adam McNeil, Bernardo Drogmoller. Gennady Stadnik is his next opponent, but it's a 4-gap difference here for himself. But he can cling himself into the overall and get back into 8th position. Right now he's got Brandon Renfro, who's just ahead of him. And then he's got P7 through 1 to pick off, and it should be easy work for him. But he's still got to do it and make it clean, because he's making moves in the overall. P15 for him at the moment, P8 with Brandon Renfro's P8, both P4 and LP3. Yikes. He ran in a 40-car rainy the Indy Lights race that was cleaner than this. I mean, this is multi-class racing. And to be fair, the dentist did start it. I think 2 dentists. That was going to be Maxwell Woodmansey and Peter Flanner both made some moves on the GT4 class driver, and GT4 class driver didn't survive. And then you have, I would say, probably the greatest GT4 racing I've seen. There was at least 8 drivers that were strictly together in a tow, all 8 just battling it out for about 18 laps until it kind of unfolded. There were some incidents that occurred, and it split up the entirety of that group. But before that, it was fairly clean. Adrian Fedorowski and Tyler Bramble battling out here for P12. Tyler in 12th at the moment. Adrian picking up 4 spots. Tyler Bramble not too bad himself. He started with 7 gained off, I think, lap 2, and is kind of held on to most of it so far. He did have a spin in this section, actually, right here, and it inadvertently kind of split up this GT4 pack I was talking about. Cody Baldwin, Connor Smith, Tyler Anderson, all receiving some form of damage. Tyler Anderson's was a black flag, so he had to go for a drive-through penalty. Connor Smith had a meatball, went straight into the barrier. Cody Baldwin spun, no significant damage, but then ended up having to wait to get back on track, so that slowed him down. Tyler Bramble is the only one that was able to just scoot away from this incident without any major issue. Which, good on him, I guess. Luck is in his favor. Patrick Amiot and Brandon Langlands are battling for P15 and 16, both in McLarens. Spaceballs, the McLaren? I don't know if I get that. I mean, I've watched the movie, but I don't know if I understand the reference. They're both basically running the same livery, because one's black, the other one's black, with a red top on them. And that split is now half a second. Further up, we have Zach Ebe, who's got a 13.1 second gap to Mark Foley, but he's got to sure up and make something happen here. Al Curtis is back in the pits, and he's out. Gary Sack did make up a spot there. Alec Classic. A spin through the bus stop section. Jake A. Crawford with a spin. Oof. Good on Andrew Korsecki had a major move, and you know what? There's Craig Reese and Maxwell Woodmansey. They're battling out here for P5 and 6. Andrew still has to probably go back into the pits to get more fuel. He had to repair his vehicle as he had an incident in the bus stop. Not his fault. What happened to Hevet 4 laps down? Oh! Big shunt for Maxwell Woodmansey. Zach had a, let's take a brief look at that again. Go on board. He didn't start on the grid. That's basically it. He had some type of technical malfunction. Oof. He kind of got away with that one, if you ask me. That should have been more damage. Oh, nope, it isn't. He didn't get away with it. He has a meatball flag. Maxwell is, whatever that meatball is, we can't see it. We can't see the significant damage, but it's probably suspension. And, yeah, he'll probably go back in. He's fighting through it, though. He's got a couple more to go. He did get Mark Foley. He was 13 seconds back. Now he's 5 seconds back in front of him. Now 5 seconds behind him. 2 drivers left to go in the GT4 class. He just didn't grid. He started P4. He qualified P4, I should say. He didn't go to the grid. And then for the actual entire outlap, he wasn't actually in the pits. He sat in the pits for 1minute and 50-something seconds while the race started. And then he finally was able to get out there. And that's when but he was already, by that point, 2 laps down, I think. Oh, no. What's he going to do? Okay, he's still in this. He's still in this fight. But he's just pulling slightly over to get a better run out of it. Hey, sometimes I catch things live like this, and that's fun. Mark Foley did just get past him again, though. All that said, yeah, he's just been working his way through the field. He did stop again at one point on the side of the bus stop section and had to do something because his equipment was malfunctioning. And then he just went back at it. So he's been fighting something, some type of equipment failure, I would say. Kevin Ferguson and Forrest Holland, they are battling it out here for P10. Good on both drivers, up 6 positions for Forrest Holland and 2 for Kevin Ferguson. Yikes. Got Kyle Curtis here. Just driving slowly, all it says. But he's got a meatball. So does Gary. Gary's was from way earlier. Nope, Gary was actually over here. Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Gary is out. Kyle Curtis. This is a meatball for him as well. Unfortunate. Adrian Fedorowski. Bins, Manfield, and Zach at that little incident. Patrick Langlands and Patrick, sorry, Brandon Langlands and Patrick Amiot just came together. Oh gosh, look at Craig Reese with some great accident avoidance. This race still giving us drama even at this hour. What an unfortunate. That black flag, Patrick, and Brandon Berg also has a black flag. And dialing it back slightly, here's the move from Kevin Ferguson on Forrest Holland. That's 3 gain for him, and through he goes. Peter Flanner lost P1 at some point here. Take a look. Nick Mazza. Oh. Oh! Oh, gosh. Wait. Yo! It's unfortunate for Peter Flanner. Well, you know, when they're in the way, they're in the way. But now there's only 4/10 separating us two. Lost P1 to a a GT4. To lose it that way is no bueno. There's no words. That's just really unfortunate. Lap 43 of 48. This dentist is trying to make it back to P1. Looks more like Carmageddon up there than Falken. It's something. Now, Jacob dropped back 2 damage. Yes, Jacob's incident. If you're watching, you're gonna love this. Brief moment here. This is what happened to Jacob Simmons, I think 6-second gap. So that's how he lost P1. Get away for those 2, and then there goes Peter Flanner through, and so does Nick Mazza. Yeah, that's how Jacob Simmons lost P1, as he was comfortably leading by 6-ish seconds. But he's out there, you know, he's still out there. He's doing his thing. He's just no longer in P1 with a 9-second, 11-second gap to the leader. Yeah. I would be curious to know what happened here, though. Austin McGill did not have any incident that I can think of. He pit on lap 24. No, that was the last one he did. He pit on lap 20 then. He pit like 1 or 2 laps earlier than 24, and then went back into the pits and pit again. So he must have underfueled at that point, but like to know that off the bat and be like, I didn't get fuel. He did get tires as well. Popped him with the jack to get tires, I think. That one's hard to know. Yeah, it's Chris Chitterling, who is now up into first. Holding pretty strong with that 15-second gap. Good margin to have. Yeah. We had 11 LMP3s and 25 GT4s. We have 5 retirements. I got a drive-through from a 4X. Oh, that's... Wait. How are you typing that while you're racing? Hey, some drivers have a lot of skill and ability. They can be driving while typing. Who else does that? Jeff Lubitsch? He could smoke, type, and drive all in the span of a race. In the span of seconds. It's not that hard. I think it is. Although I'm in VR when I do, so I don't even have like a keyboard next to me anyway. I guess if you have the proper like 3 panels, 3 monitors, and your little keyboard stands close by, it probably isn't that difficult. But yeah, I wouldn't do it. Oh, oh, you see this right here, folks? That right there, that was a 2x or a 4x. That gave Peter Flanner a black flag. That was caught live, and I had to pull back live as it was a replay. But now Peter Flanner, who was looking to chase down Nick Mazza for P1, is no longer going to have that opportunity. I text and drive. Right, I can't believe I was on this entire time without that switch. Thanks for that, Dad with Autism Sim, for the follow. I text and drive on. Oh, on your phone. Yeah, well, that's different. I wouldn't be able to do that either. I don't even have Twitch installed on my Twitch app installed on my phone. Here goes Peter Flanner. Jacob Simmons is going to inherit a spot. Andrew Gorstecki will inherit a spot. And Craig Reese might be left out here. Or maybe not. Actually, he probably will be. Peter Flanner is still driving through the pits. There goes Andrew Gorstecki. Oof, it looked like some drama was about to unfold there. Both drivers through. Craig Reese down the start straight, but Peter Flanner is back out. Can Craig Reese get him into the turn? I don't think it's going to happen into turn 2. But, yep, he's already out there. Lost only, wait, 84 seconds ahead of him. Yeah, he's in 4th. It just isn't updating it. Anyway. Where's Chris Schitterling? In the middle. Alright, well, Nick Mazza is going to be our first winner here. SimCity Racing driver. For the Season 2, Round 1 of the Broken Wing Falken Series. And there he is across the line. Congrats to him. Jacob Simmons into 2nd. Possibly. Andrew Gorstecki right there behind him. And P2 for Jacob Simmons. Andrew Gorstecki into 3. Peter Flanner into 4th. Nope, Peter Flanner never served his drive-through. Oh, okay. Craig Reese into 4th. Gennady Stadnik is going to be in 6th. Zach Hebert now into 7th because he did pass Chris Schitterling. Chris Schitterling has a bit ways to go. And yeah, Peter Flanner never served his drive-through, even though he went through the pits to serve his drive-through. So that's going to drop him down the order after everything is said and done. Chris Schitterling into 1st. Austin McGill into 2nd. Mark Foley into 3rd. Joshua Grasso, a little bit ways to go, but 4th. Alex Zier already finished. He's in 5th. Varun Nambier in 6th. Justin Scott in 7th. Brandon Renfro in 8th. Colby Baldwin in 9th. Kevin Ferguson in 10. Forrest Holland in 11. Tyler Bramble 12. Adrian Fedorowski in 13. Alec Klessig is still not done. He's just in front of Joshua Grasso for 14. Maxwell Woodmansey in 8th for the LMP3 class. Brandon Langland's in 15th for the GT4. Adam McNeil in 9th in the LMP3 class. Patrick Amioy in 16. Brandon Berg 17. Jake Crawford in 18. Nathan Schmidt 19. Tom Smith 20. Kyle Curtis 21. Gary Sack 22. Bernardo Drogmuller in 10th for the LMP3. Tyler Anderson 10th in the LMP3s. 23rd is Tyler Anderson. 24th is Connor Smith. Angel Bonello Soto in 25th. Chris Lambert, Jeremy Wooden start. That's it, folks. Um, give it a brief look here. And when we see the results, after it's all said and done, um, it says Peter Flanner in third, but it hasn't updated. Interesting. Peter Flanner did not finish third. But I got both drivers here. So we'll start with the LMP3 class. Nick Mazza, congratulations on that win. What a odd set of circumstances to have it happen. First, you
Holy
have
cow, yeah.
Jacob Simmons, who was leading, and then he gets pinched by a GT4 into turn two. That slows him down significantly. So good luck on that one. It was just for you. You were able to get by. I think you had pretty good control of the traffic. And then Peter Flanner gets stuck behind that GT4 with what 7 laps to go, something like that, and you inherit the lead there, and then just kind of drove away with it. You had a 4-second gap after that. It was a very great run. Peter Flanner wouldn't have been able to respond to you even after that. He got a black flag by getting a net code hit
Oh
on the
no.
second of last lap. So congratulations on that win. And I mean, my God, that was quite something. Did you feel like it was a crucible, like a just Carmageddon even?
A little bit, yeah. There's always a little bit of give and take with multi-class racing. There was unfortunately a lot of give, or a lot of take that I had to do. I had to make a couple of dives on some people that were, you know, risky, but they were clean. It was a good race overall. I did not have the pace that Jacob had, and I did not have the pace that Peter had. I was the beneficiary of some luck. So good race to both of them. Unfortunate that it didn't work out for them.
Absolutely. That was definitely something. All I want to say again, Nick, I mean, yes, luck does play a part into it, and you still drove a good, clean race, and you didn't major moves. You didn't have any dentist moments that I saw on track. So, congrats to you for not being one of those LMP3 drivers. Yeah, and again, congratulations, great job on the first win. Can't wait to see what you do on round two.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Hmm? Now over to Chris Chitterling, who's in the GT4 class. Congratulations, Chris. You're pretty strong in practice. You were first in practice, second in qualifying. And really, I'm not sure if you did this on purpose, but Austin McGill was behind you, and you slowed up through the Roval section so he couldn't get a toe off you. Was that on purpose in qualifying?
Well, first, thanks, Jason. And two, no, I already had an off track that lap, and so I was trying to just let him by. So that's what the purpose was there.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a little cheeky, like, hey, you don't get my toe, but that wasn't the case. But still, it still resulted in the same thing. He didn't get faster on that lap. It actually took his last lap to actually really pull through, which is just marginally ahead of yours. But I mean, fantastic result for that. But um, walk us through how was going through the traffic. I mean, you were part of the traffic, but the LMP3s, was it tough navigating considering you dropped back at initially? You had to pass Mark Foley, Alex Zier. Once you got past them, it seemed like you were making quick work of them a little bit when you were able to get by, but then you were on the charge for the next spot. But Austin McGill had a drive-through penalty. As I can't remember exactly what he said. He got a drive through from a 4X, which dropped him back because he had a pretty significant lead. Which at the end you had the significant lead. You were the one that had that. What was it? 11 seconds, something like that, at the end of the race.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, no cheeky business on qualifying. To each their own. I was just struggling a little bit there. But yeah, in the race, it was tough. I think Grasso spun in turn one in front of me, so I had to stand on the brakes, which let a bunch of people by. And then this track is pretty hard to get a pass on, especially when the people in front of you aren't making mistakes. So I had to do a couple sends on Alex and Mark, and then once I was in front of them, I felt like I was able to open up a little bit, but I had no pace to respond to Austin. He was flying tonight, so this win probably would have been his. It's a shame. Well, he actually chose to take tires, which I did not do, and so that's what got me in front of him. after the pit cycle. I think he probably would have caught me if he didn't get that drive through.
It would have definitely come down close at that point, yeah, because when he got the drive through, it dropped him back behind Mark, I believe, and then he was able to pass Mark. I think that's how it all worked out, but not close enough for Grasso. But also just fantastic result there. And I'll ask the same question to you as I asked to Nick. Did you feel like there was Carmageddon carnage going on around you? Did you see anything happening, or were you just kind of in your own zone?
Yeah, I think after the first couple laps of cold tires, where there's a little bit of I don't want to say carnage, but people getting loose. I think after the first couple laps it got decent, and then there's some lap traffic, tough spots, but I thought overall everybody did a great job, and I thought the LMP3s all did a great job around me and had no issues navigating the LMP3 traffic, so that was pretty cool.
Wow, I mean, that's a different perspective to hear, and at least your race went very smooth. You'll definitely get to see some stuff when you go to the review. Thanks for joining me, Chris. Congratulations on that win, and can't wait to see what you do on the next one.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, folks, that's it. Thank you for joining me. That was the first round of the opening season for what is going to be a great lineup. We've got ARCA Oval Racing. We've got the V's and Rays on Thursdays. I think F4 is still out there on Fridays at the moment. We'll start up the GT3 Sprint Championship on Sunday. This next Tuesday coming up will be the Broken Wing WEX series, I think it's what it's called now. I don't have any confirmation on that one. I've been barely paying attention to stuff, but when I do pay attention, I'll get that updated on the next stream, which will be the GT3 Sprint Championship. We'll be going into season 15. Thank you all for joining me, and have a good evening